Yeah.
Welcome back, guys. Another episode of Classic Culture with more guests. Today it's going to be amazing because I've got three guys from the same class, same division, three pros. I'm not sure if some of you are competing in the same show, but hopefully we'll get everyone to talk about what's happening with their lives, especially after the whole the coronavirus shit that happened. So I'm going to introduce, obviously, I've got Jack Conner, I've got Shane Cullen, and obviously my co-host, Jon Lofthouse. Thank you for coming, guys.
What up?
Jon Lofthouse is your second fiddle, isn't he? Let's just make sure we know he's not
Second.
Oh God! So it started already. So is Jack competing in Alicante?
I am not, unfortunately. No. I think like a lot of people, once the whole lockdown finished, went to the gym. I just wasn't where I wanted to be be fair. I wasn't quite lucky enough to get the gym access throughout lockdown, so I did the best at home. But first time, when you do your pro debut, you want to be bang on. Like, I want to be challenging for top spot. I don't want to be going just for the sake of it to come in 10th, 11th, 12th, whatever the fuck it would be. So, it's frustrating, especially to see other British lads jumping on that show, but just not my time. Not ready.
You're going to go Romania?
But we'll see. I was considering doing Romania, which is in November, a few months down the line. But after a little conversation with my coach, I'd rather wait till next year. To be honest, I've got room to grow in my weight category, up to sort of 109 odd kilos on stage, and I could I'll fall well within that if I diet down now. So I'd rather grow, come back a bit bigger, and then, like I said, it gives me more opportunity to challenge for a top spot, basically. So.
Fantastic. And Shane, you're doing the show, right?
Yeah, I'm doing Alicante. I was thinking about doing Romania. The only thing was pulling me off for Romania is this whole restriction of isolation. 2 weeks isolation when you go somewhere abroad. So that's kind of a bit tricky with work and everything. So I don't know, kind of limited in what you're able to do with all these rules from COVID. So
of course,
it makes it difficult, doesn't
it?
John, you're right.
It seems to change week in, week out. Every time I'm seeing new countries listed on these, the rules change, whether you can fly to, where you've got to restrict. It's a big risk, isn't it, to commit to a prep if you don't know if you're even going to get to the show or not. But I think once you're going for it, you just go for it. That's it. There's no holding back, is there, really?
True. John, you're ready?
Ready?
Are you getting ready?
Look miles off to me.
Listen, there's this stupid question that people keep asking you. How do you feel? Well, you fucker, I feel like shit, but I look good,
So what is it, 8 weeks? Is it 8 weeks out now, is it? Or
it's going into 7 weeks out now. I don't feel too bad at the minute. I think probably the next week or two start feeling the pinch a bit. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Alicante, man. It's going to be good. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to do Romania. I think it completely depends on what happens in Alicante,
Do you know what athletes are competing at Alicante?
I think it's just me, you, and Neil.
Yeah. Is Darryl not doing it, is he?
Darren, no. I spoke to him. I think he's trying to be a bit secret squirrel about it, but I spoke to him, and I don't think he's doing it. I think he's going to do Romania. I think Romania was always the show that he was aiming for. I don't think he's doing Alicante. I think he's going to be there, though. I think his missus is doing it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So he's coming down. He's going to come down and watch and scout out the competition.
Well, to be fair, he seems to be holding relatively good condition. So, I mean, you just never know, do you? 8 weeks is quite a long time. You can get a lot of work done in 8 weeks. So you just never know. When I met him the other day, you'd just say sort of just putting it out there a little bit, just try and mix things up a little bit. But you don't know who's going to turn up, do you, to be fair?
Yeah. The only three I know is me, you, Shane, and Neil. I mean, I was having this conversation the other day, like how many UK pros are there in Classic? I don't know. There's us three, there's Neil, there's Darren.
There's another chap called Drew. He came, he got the third spot overall at the show I did. Don't know when he's competing, to be fair, but apart from that, I don't actually know, to be honest.
Michael Double.
Oh yeah, Michael 7.
Yeah.
Is Michael doing it?
Michael wants to do Romania, but
okay.
I told you through COVID, the guy lost a lot of weight. Like the guy looked like someone that just walked out of a pub.
Yeah.
So he wasn't training at all. Like there was nothing. Like he looked like someone who didn't train at all.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say.
Though. I believe
he's
he is
prepping.
I saw some of his posts, and I think he's been putting the work in. He seems to he's made quite a little transformation in the last I think 25 days or a month or so. So I don't...
he's that kind of guy. The guy's genetics are just that kind of genetics where he trains for 3 weeks and he just completely changes. But he doesn't. For me, he doesn't have the classic look or the aesthetics of a classic physique. He's my friend. He's one of my really cool friends, and I keep telling him that one day he should really move on to the open class. It's just one of these things. But can I have a question for Shane here? Shane, this is your pro debut, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
How does it feel? Talk to us. What's happening your end?
It's a completely different view compared to what I was competing in the amateur ranks, because I don't know, it's hard to describe really. My mindset is completely different on it. It's more so focusing on what I'm able to bring to the stage instead of focusing on who I'm competing against. Because when you're when you go into the pro ranks, you're literally starting from the bottom of the list. You know what I mean? So my expectations going in and win is not really high up there. It's just literally what I can do and what I can bring is what I'm going to focus on for the next couple of years. And then when I feel like I've gone to that level where I can actually win a show, then my mindset will kind of change towards the competitions then, so.
But I mean, some people would call this like, oh, you're being very negative about this. And, why are you thinking you can't win?
I'm the most critique.
repeat.
When I won my pro card, I was still not happy with the way I was looked. So I don't think I was ever happy how I ever looked on stage, to be honest. So it's...
To be fair, that's a bodybuilding thing. I wasn't happy with how I looked when I won my pro card, and everyone's like, "Are you mad?" And I was like, just a bit more,
100%, man. I feel the same. I literally saw a picture of a front double from the day I won my pro card, and I looked at it and went, "That's shit." Like I was really actually quite down about it. I looked and I thought, "Fuck!" I was like, "Where's my lats?" So it may have been one of those shots that was just caught before I hit the shot. Obviously, the photographer's a lot of shots. I just looked at it and I thought, "Yeah, my legs look decent," but I was like, "I'm sure I'm better than that." What the fuck? It's like pissing off a little bit. It's like, right, get down the gym, get my food in. It's just all of a sudden your mindset has to change. All it takes is one little photo, something like that, and all of a sudden you can have a real knock to your confidence, especially when you're in the pro league, and all of a sudden you're knowing, as an amateur, you can be in such good shape going into a show. You can think, you know what? I know I've got a really good shot at winning this show, no matter who turns up. But when you're second, you're moving into, potentially going up against literally the best people on the planet in your category.
Absolutely.
That just all goes completely out the window for me. It's like, no matter how good you are, you're thinking, fucking hell, I could turn up and just barely even place. Or I could win it. It's so, I just have no idea where I sit at the moment as far as a lineup of 15 or 20 pros,
Back in the day where we used to do the British finals here in Nottingham with the UKBFF. So we used to kind of know the list, I knew I was going up like Rob Taylor, I knew who I was going up against, it's there. And I was in the under 90. The under 90 kilo at the British finals is the hardest category. So I kind of know vaguely where I'm going to be, Now you guys being in the pro ranks, you might look at it and it's like, this guy's name is Igor Ivanovich. Who is this guy? So it's like trying to search for him on Instagram, and his name is like something completely different. You don't even know who the guy is.
I fuck that off now. People keep sending me pictures of this guy's doing it. Oh, this guy's doing it. This guy's doing it. I'm like, I don't give a fuck anymore. Don't even look at the pictures. You just have to, like Shane said, I have a little bit of a different mentality with Shane, but like in terms of I do train to win. Everyone knows that. Like I train with the utmost confidence that I'm going to win the show. I go into this show thinking that I can win Alicante. That's how I train. That's how I'm going to train for every fucking show, But at the same time, I still have the same mentality of just focus on yourself and not worry about others. Even despite me, throwing spanners in the works and stuff like that, I am just focused on myself. I'm not worried about no one else.
You just end up stressing your own self out, looking at other people and then comparing yourselves on the pictures, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
So John here.
You've done that so many times to see a picture of someone going into a show and all of a sudden you think, fuck. It happened to me at the day I won the pro card. I thought there was a few people that I was following that messaged me and said, I'll be at the same show. Saying, it'd be good to see you. And I remember looking at the picture and thinking, fuck, man. Like showing my wife and saying, what do you think of that? She's like, wow, they look good. Yeah. And on the day, I didn't even see the person. I don't know where he was in the lineup. I have no idea. And it's just, some people are maybe good at, and it's that horrible thing that people are very good at photos on Instagram and making themselves look really good, which is great, good for your confidence. Yeah. But when you're looking at those pictures, it can make you think, fuck. Look at the state of that bloke. Where the heck, what am I going to do with that? And then they just don't even appear. You know what I mean? But,
some people can look massive on stage. Well, some people are massive, but it's like, some people have them physiques where they're big, but then when they pose, nothing really changes. And it's like, oh, okay. You know, that kind of looked how I expected it. And then you get other guys, like there was some guys that I've competed against before, and they just open up and they look like fucking mad, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like you, John, because in real life you look kind of pathetic, to be honest.
Yeah, I do. Everybody thinks I'm an athlete. Yeah, I'm more of an athlete than a bodybuilder. But then I know when I pose, I open up, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I don't stress about guys that are bigger than me. Like I've beaten guys that are bigger than me. You know, I mean, this is the classic class. It's not, obviously mass is a part of it because mass has a certain aspect to do with aesthetics, but there's you know, if the mass isn't in the right places, I'm not really bothered about it, you know?
Yeah.
See, John here, sorry for interrupting, Jack. I have a question here, which is really, really, it's going to trigger quite a bit of people to get a bit annoyed with you or like you. I don't know. It may go both ways. The thing is, we know that, you know, certain athletes, like now speaking to, you know, Shane and Jack, I kind of have a vibe out of them that I kind of know how they are. But, you know, we've been holding this podcast for quite a few months now, and everyone knows Jon Lofthouse is a bit cocky. All right. So here, that's normal. I mean, we're not saying that you're arrogant. Cockiness and confidence is one thing. But then here we might be on the flight with Shane and whoever's competing with us, you know, in Alicante. And do you find yourself being a rival at that time, or do you find yourself being a team player, as you know, all of you are coming from Britain to represent, you know, Great Britain or England? Or
I don't really feel like rivalry. It's not a fucking boxing match, for fuck's sake. You know? It's not, but although, you know, we want to hype the show up and you're going to talk some shit, but it's not a boxing match. I don't feel any rivalry. Like, I do kind of like the idea of all us UK boys going over there and like all of us doing well. But at the same time, you know, I'll happily sit on the plane with Shane and have a chat like mates. But at the same time, I want to fucking beat him. I want to beat Neil.
Yeah.
I want to beat everybody. I want to be the best. But I don't really feel like that rivalry aspect, you know, like in boxing where it's a little bit more personal and it's like, fuck you. Like, there's no need for that. For fuck's sake, we're getting fucking tangoed and posing in thongs, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. I think, like you say, in fighting, boxing, things like that, when people sort of have a go at each other, it's to try and maybe knock their confidence or something.
Yeah.
I'd rather be the other way. I'd rather everyone I step on stage is as confident as they get and they bring their absolute best. Yeah. And that way, if I'm lucky enough to win and they've been as best as they could, then great. That I'm the proper winner. I don't want to say something, oh, look, your pose is going to be shit. You know, you're probably going to fuck up, or your condition's not that good, and then it puts them down a bit. I'm not about that, man. I want people to like be confident and happy. Like we're all I know it's a bit cliche, but we're all a bit of a family. Everyone goes through the same shit. The last thing I want to do is knock anyone down. Like I said, you don't need to be Conor McGregor about it, do you? You know?
Yeah, no. I would never directly slag someone off or anything like that. But, you know, at the same time, I do want to fuck with your head a little bit. Why not? Why not?
I mean, Shane looks like the guy who's sitting in the corner, you know, having his rice cake, but the minute he takes off his t-shirt, something really interesting is going to happen. Because, you know, just by us sitting, you know, sitting here on that, you know, that page sort of thing. And just that's the way I kind of feel. I'm the guy who comes and says hello to everyone. You know, John's going to be the guy who's, talking a lot of trash talk. You know, Jack's doing his own thing, and Shane's the guy in the corner, you know, sitting, having one rice cake every 2-3 minutes and just looking at everyone like, you know what? I don't care that you're here. You know, but speaking of trash talk here, and speaking of, like, listen, we've seen the Olympia. We've seen how, you know, athletes go for each other at the conference, and we don't want to do it that way because there's a lot of disrespect that goes through that. And we're supposed to have Neil Curry here today, and I don't know what actually happened. You know, it's I
was going to beat him, and he got butter about it.
That's one of the things. I mean, here you've just told Shane, you know, like, I would love to beat him, but I would still sit down with him on the plane and talk, and probably even stay in, you know, in the same hotel room if you know, shit goes that way. You know, I'm sure Jack, you're that kind of guy too, you know. But what happened with Neil? What happened with Neil? I want to know.
Look, all I know is that, you know, initially I put out and said that I want to be undeniably the best in the UK. You know, that's what I've said, because that's what I want to do. I put that pressure on myself to be the best. So I put out that, and then somebody messaged me on Instagram. I done a questions thing, and it said, "Are you going to beat Neil?" And I said, "Yeah." You know, but I would have said it about if any of the, you know, if it was, "Are you going to beat Shane? Or are you going to beat Jack? Or are you going to beat Darren?" I would have said, "Yeah." I don't really see that. And then he's come back and, you know, said, "We'll see." And then I asked him to come on a podcast with, you know, Shane and myself and yourself, Faisal. And he said, "No, man, you got no respect." I was like, "No respect? I never even spoke to you." I don't really see, you know, just me believing in myself and backing myself. I don't see the disrespect in that. You know, Shane's here today. Jack's here. I mean, me and Jack have spoke in person. Like, I don't see the disrespect. You know, I'm not trying to, I'm not slagging anybody off. You know, I've never said a bad word about Neil. Never met the dude. For all I know, he's a cool dude. But do I want to beat him? Yeah. Do I think I could beat him? Yeah.
So Jack, you're the peacemaker here.
So, I don't know about that.
No, I don't know. Jack keeps sending me nasty messages.
Oh yeah, I've been right. Yeah, you think I'm being all friendly? I've been sending John some right vicious stuff, knocking him down. Yeah. See, useless floppy haircut, all that sort of thing. You know.
I expect.
I think there's a big
Jack's
difference.
Response.
Are you gonna? Was that sorry?
I expect, you know, when I put that initially up, I said I want to be undeniable. You said you're not going to take the throne yet, mate. You got to compete against me. Like, that's what I expect. Cool. Yeah. Wicked. Yeah. Darren put up a post and said undeniable. Darren put up a post and said undeniable. That's you. We'll see. That's what I expect. Talk some shit.
Yeah.
It's okay. It is okay. It is okay for you guys to wind each other up. I've seen it. We've seen it happen in the 70s. We've seen pumping iron. You know, this is normal. But Shane, I have a question for you here. Do you think you could beat any of the guys up there? The guys you know? If it was Jack, if it was John, if it was Neil, if it was Darren, do you think you can beat those guys?
I think my posing would probably take a big role in me achieving it, yeah. But when it comes down to, like, the other side of the things, I don't think it will be a easy win, and I don't think it will be a hard win either. I think it's just down to the day on who's perfect. You know what I mean? So
stop sitting on the bench. Just say, "Yeah, I'm going to beat the crap
exactly."
out
of
I'm going to smash all of these.
You're at your best. You're at your best. John's at his best. Jack's at his best.
There's one person I know who's competing, and I can't pronounce his name. I think this guy's called Krill. He's from...
I'm not bothered about him. He's got shit flow. Have you seen his side chest?
I think he looks sick.
Nah, he's just big. He's got shit flow. I don't care. He's been on the Olympia stage. He's got shit flow.
I think his physique is dangerous, though. His physique is dangerous.
He's got a lot more size than me.
But, yeah, he's massive. But when I won my pro card, I actually met him, and I got a picture with him. And when I looked back at the picture, I was like, "Fuck, man."
Yeah.
That's why I took a 2-year off season, or a year and a half.
Yeah.
Just to grow a bit, you know. So
I think when people are that big, sometimes it can be an advantage and a disadvantage. So say you walk out and you're in your lineup and you're 6'1", 6'2", and top of your weight category, you might get automatically looked at by a judge because you're that big. But it opens you up to your flaws as well. Because obviously I find some of the short guys, in some cases, have a better. For me, potentially a better body for a classic look. You know, just you're able to have that real thickness with the narrow waist and so on. And I think when I look at myself, and I'm nearly 6'2", so to try and have the mass that I need to then still have that thickness down the bottom, thickness at the top, and then going at the waist, but stretched out over an extra foot than a lot of people. It kind of it puts me in the realms where I'm starting to think, fucking, I'm getting towards looking like a super heavyweight. When you really start to grow, I think what I don't want to do is get to the size where I start, like John's saying about flow. The last thing you want to do is lose your flow. And all the time you're trying to grow, you're doing heavy lifts, you are putting that risk that my waist is not going to blow out, but get that little bit bigger. You know, if I want to develop a really strong back, really, strong upper body and legs and so on, you got to be doing these heavy hip hinge. You know, you got to be, deadlifting, rack pulling and so on. And I feel in this last off season, I've put on a few more inches on my waist than I ever have before, and that does scare me a little bit, which is a bit sort of frustrating. But yeah, I don't know. I think if they're saying this chap's really big or that chap's really big, once again, all we're going on is quite often pictures. You know, I've seen quite a lot of chaps that I know are competing, big and small, and they just look really good. You know, you've got Mike Summerfield. I believe it's Mike Summerfield, or the badass, what he calls himself. The Black Panther, who's also been to the Olympia. I believe they're both competing. You know, they're people that can be pushing for the top spot because they've already pushed for top spot in pro shows. So we'll have to wait and see. You know, it's gonna be a really interesting show. I'd love to go. Can't, with the kids, I can't get out there, but I really want to see how you lot fare. You know, Neil, yourselves there. You know, how you will fare against the other best in Europe and potentially the world. It's going to be a really fucking interesting show.
Right.
Best of luck to both of you. I want one of you two or both of you to get to that Olympia. That whole thing of throwing in now 3 top spots, so the top 3 making it direct to the Olympia. What's your thoughts on that? So someone who's second or third still getting that Olympia spot.
I wouldn't want it. It would be awesome. It'd be awesome. I just would want to get there with that first place spot. Only because in my head, I know if you're getting there through second or third place, not that I would do shit. I am still a realist. I wouldn't do shit at the Olympia yet. But if you're getting there second or third place, like you're gonna come bottom end of the pack probably, aren't you? So I'd want to get there with a first place, knowing in my head that I was good enough to win a pro show. You know, mentally I'd be a lot better going into an Olympia prep, having a first place pro win behind me. You know, but obviously. It's a deep lineup. I said there's a deep lineup, so it's come even top 3. There's still a credible invite because it's a fucking lot of people competing. What was you going to say, Shane? Sorry.
What's your weight limit?
98.
98. You're pretty tall then.
Just under 5'11".
5'11", yeah. I think my one's 94 and 91. I'm just 175 centimeters, so I'm on the border.
Yeah. Are you at your weight limit?
Am I now?
Yeah, like are you right up there on your weight limit, or have you got a lot more filling out to do? Where are you at?
If I'm at 94, I can fill out probably another 4 more kilos, probably 5. Yeah. So I'm not too bad.
Nice.
So
the thing is, with the setups now of shows and everything, have you guys heard anything about what's happening in Alicante? Like, do you guys need to turn up with masks, or what's going on?
Don't know.
Not told anything.
So they haven't been announcing anything, have they? That's a little bit shit, right?
I have a mask in my pocket in case. But...
Yeah, make sure you take one for definite. Yeah. Like that is, the amount of time you go out to go to the shops and you go to get your petrol and you forget your mask. Don't turn up to Alicante and forget your fucking mask.
Exactly.
You have to wear them at the airport and stuff anyway, so.
Yeah, you'll end up having to put your trunks on your face.
Yeah.
Someone else. Imagine someone else. I'll lend you my trunks, mate. Yeah, crack on. You're right.
Sweetheart, can I borrow your thong, please?
Yeah. Now the thong she wears, that wouldn't even cover her mouth. Jesus, tiny. I think shit splitters determine it.
Oh God. So the thing is with now having shows. I think we started talking about this, but I want to actually go on with this because it's very important for you guys to understand, even as amateurs. I mean, I'm still an amateur in classic physique, and I'm trying to obviously do as many shows as I can, especially probably next year. And especially with now having the coronavirus, being spread and everyone's got different, guidelines and regulations and all this shit, having for you guys now to do Alicante, for example, and you say, okay, I'm going to do Romania. how do you guys feel about going back to London, for example, and say, okay, 2 weeks quarantine, and then you need to lock yourself, up for 2 weeks, and then having to go back over to do another show?
Or would you rather?
It is a pain in the ass, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll do it, no problem. It's just work schedule. Would they allow me to, like, if I was going to do them 2 shows, that's nearly a month off.
That's another issue.
Yeah.
So are they going to accept that? I don't know.
Just fucking wouldn't quarantine. Just say, fuck quarantine. I'm just going to train.
Yeah, put on a mask. Put on like a little pair of plastic glasses and a little fake moustache and nose and just walk out.
But that's what bodybuilders do. I mean, you do Alicante, then you do Romania, then you do Italy, then or Italy, right at the end, I think, or something like that. So it's like you want to keep doing shows for you to be known. And I don't know if this is going to work this year or even next year. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think?
No, I probably won't. Next year will probably be a better year to really get get our teeth stuck into our first year. But it's probably the same, probably the same with Shane. I said to myself that if there's a show on, I'm going to fucking do it this year. I want to get out there. I want to compete. I train better when I'm going for a show as well. If I have a show in the pipeline, my training's better, my diet's better. It's pretty the same with every single bodybuilder, and just much more in that zone. I mean, I'm always training hard, but I don't know, when you have that, that goal in sight, you push it just that little bit more, so I said, if there's going to be a show, I'm going to fucking do it. So, but next year will probably be a better year for all of us. Exciting year.
Yeah, I guess so.
UK Arnold's Athleticon.
I was going to say, I saw your podcast the other day with Ian Constable on it, and I saw that he mentioned something about, was it FitCon also? Is it FitCon? You said about
it's Athleticon.
Athleticon. Yeah, and obviously, potentially the British Arnold. You imagine that? That would be good.
Plus, we still have the Ben Weider. We still have the Ben Weider. We still have the Amateur Olympia. We still have quite a few good shows. But the thing is here, people are doing all these big shows, and we're thinking maybe we need smaller shows for us to be able to qualify for. For a British final that people could actually, look forward to, because the regional qualifiers are very little, right?
Well, it all depends, I suppose. Not every show you've got, it depends how many people show up. I think some of the regional qualifiers have been pretty good, but there's that whole thing where you've got certain shows, so you've obviously got the Ben Weider and you've got the Amateur Olympia, where you can pretty much, I don't know what the rules are, whether you can just rock up without qualifying at all and go for your pro card. So kind of, obviously, I know, John, you went through the whole sort of rigmarole of doing. So you did a qualifier to get to the British finals, won that, and then got to the British finals. So that's kind of like that old school way. Like people used to compete before. When the pro card only came through the UK BFF British finals. It's that whole thing where you earn your right to compete for that card, and then there's only one. So obviously there's more pro cards out there, but I do kind of like that. I think it's good that you can earn your right to compete for that pro card. But that's how it was obviously last year, wasn't it? So
where did you get your pro card, Jack?
I got it at the Amateur Olympia last October in the UK.
And Shane?
I got mine at Dennis James in Germany. 2018.
All right.
I was meant to get my pro card at I was meant to go to Alicante, but I fucking lost my passport, didn't I? So
typical bodybuilder.
I done the PCA the following weekend, and since I won that, I got over excited and just fucked the passport away.
Did you manage to find it later?
No, I had to get an emergency one, and I tried making weight, and obviously the time was too late. So
you're on low carbs, Shane. It's probably in your back pocket.
Man, brain function wasn't working, man. No.
Wow.
Shane, what's your prep looking like at the minute?
It's good. Food's still pretty high. Like if I was prepping myself, I would have had my food down really low. But Kuba's got me in pretty high amount of food. So the size is definitely being held at this rate, and conditioning is starting to come off there now, day by day. So I'm really happy with the progress was going on. But since we're in the lockdown over here again, so I'm back to limited on equipment. So I'm actually training at a CrossFit place. So it's only just like free weights what I can have access to, no machines or anything like that. So
that might not be a bad thing, bars and that.
Yeah, well,
Makes
it's
it
nice
difficult.
to use the machines when like when your joints get a bit stiff and that, and
Yeah.
the stabilizing muscles kind of stop firing. So.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Are you okay
And,
like, for a lot of your exercises? Are you happy using free weights? I mean, I know a lot of people like myself. For example, with legs, squatting is not one of my strong points, and that was one of the big things that killed me off a little bit over lockdown. So I eventually had the equipment to squat and stuff at home, which was great. But I've had quad tendonitis before, so squatting is not my go-to sort of grow thing for my legs. So how are you going to be at a CrossFit gym where it's basically just going to be, you suppose squatting, walking lunges, all the standard bench press? So they got dumbbells and stuff there. I mean, the CrossFit
they got
gyms
dumbbells, yeah. I like to normally rotate like machines and the free weights, so you get a bit of both, So just at the moment, it's going to be free weights for the next couple of weeks.
Do you change your training style, getting into shows?
Probably back off with the rest pause sets and the muscle rounds, because that's more demanding for recovery. So right now we've dropped all the drop sets and everything, so we're just basically doing everything basic right now. So
we used to, back in the day, we used to do it the other way around.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Burn more fat.
I do it the other way.
So we can eat more at the end and just put more into the training. We kind of like put it on 6th gear. People have started to approach things differently from back how we used to do it. I am old, man. I am old. Believe me.
How old are you?
I'm too old. Don't even ask that question. Too old.
I'm 40.
Okay. I'm creeping up again. 37 I am, so I'm not far off. That's another thing that scares me about what I'm doing. Having turned pro at what I suppose is considered a relatively old age. So you've got people taking their pro status in their sort of early to mid-20s. And that's another thing that sort of affects the way I train and my mentality is my age. It's like, how much longer do I have? Now, I know obviously you can look at some people like Dexter, and a prime example being Dexter Fletcher, who keeps being at the top of his game, topping one of the best in the world, at a pretty ripe old age. But I mean, it's like, how does that make you feel? Do you feel all right about training? I say, being a bit older and like still pushing it?
I look at myself that way. Okay, obviously this is just a dream of mine. If I was to come back in time with this knowledge that I have today, I would have been a completely different man. But today, my shoulders are both buggered. I've had PRP injections on my knees. I've been training too long, and now I feel like I'm a bit wiser, and my muscle-mind connection has started to work finally at this age. Yeah. Thinking, you know what? I used to move weight. Now I started to use weight. So I think my muscle maturity at this, I'm very happy how things are going right now. I mean, I'm still getting thicker. I'm not losing my legs. And because I love the aesthetics of classic, or the classic aesthetics, I'm not trying to push more towards compound movements anymore. I've got the frame, I've got the size. I need more round muscle bellies, and I think getting to knowing Jon kind of brought me back to how I used to be, where a lot of isolation and work on round muscles more than just moving weight with compounds like deadlifts and shit like that. If I wanted to work on my lower back, I'll just do hyperextensions. I have a bad back. And it's working. It's not obviously, the conditioning at the end will always obviously be a little bit different than guys that obviously move more weight. The conditioning, the thickness of muscles, the type of muscle that I have, but I've been having those muscles for a long time, so I don't need to put more. If that makes sense. Yeah. I'm okay at this age. I'm okay. When I look at Danny Hester, I'm thinking, you know what? There is chance for me. But I think I look at the young guys now, and I admire what they do, especially you guys. I mean, that kind of crew, the new classic physique boys. I look at them and I think, you know what? I'm happy that they're combining the old school methods with the new school of bodybuilding, and they're trying to make something new. I don't like the times where I don't think you guys were, I don't know if you were there or not, in Nottingham, the last British final. I mean, we had guys who were veiny from top to bottom, but not one line on their legs, not one line on their chests. they're just full of veins, and that's the look that I didn't like.
Yeah, people misconcept vascularity with good condition. It don't happen like that, man.
That's what I mean. You guys are bringing back
clean lines is what makes it look good on stage.
Exactly. That's what I like. I've been looking through your pictures, all of you. And I'm thinking, you know what? This is the type of bodies that we should have had at least 10 years ago. Bodybuilding would have not gone that way. And now we're trying to pull it back, come back. Where are you going? And I think that's my point of view, obviously. So, well done to you guys for trying to bring something like this back to the stage. You're working really hard. And I wish you guys luck through making it to the Olympia, because I'll be there watching. I'll be there watching, guys. I'll be there watching.
I do find it a bit mad sometimes. I think that is now, like, every time you first win a show and a new goal sets you, I want to win. I want to win my next amateur show, and then you want to win your pro card. So to be that, my next goal is to go to the Olympia, just seems fucking mad. You know what I mean? I know it's that thing where you're now pushing to be one of the best at your show. Then you're pushing to be one of the best in your country. Then you're pushing to be one of the best in the world. And it just seems like I'm just a bloke with a couple of kids. I've got a normal job. I don't live and breathe bodybuilding. I do mentally because I love it, but I'm not able to because of my lifestyle. And that's something that I don't ever want it to be an excuse, but I do look with jealousy at some people that are able to give 110% to bodybuilding. So they'll sleep, they'll eat like at certain times, they'll nap whenever the hell they want. And I'm like, I've got to shove my food in, I've got to get my kids to school, then I've got to make sure the washing's done, then I've got to do my job, and pick them up again from school. What's that?
I'm having a nap after this podcast.
Fuck right off, mate. I'll drive up there, mate. I'll slap you about. Fucking wake up. You can have my kids for a couple of hours. See how you
Jack, do you think you could be the best in the UK?
Yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah, I don't see
why.
Not. Yeah.
Wow.
What's that?
Because Shane's having a nap right now. That's why.
You know what? I think I've grown, and like we said, plenty of size. I see no reason why I can't be, if not the best, one of. I'm happy to say to be one of the best in the country would make me incredibly happy. So, John, you've got way more years in the game to push for being one of the best, if not the best in the world, which is great. And I have to be a bit more. That's what I want, and that is my goal, and that's how I train and I eat, and like. I want to get to that Olympia. Whether I ever fucking win the Olympia, I don't know. It'd be my goal, but to say that it's ever going to happen, yeah, it is a big ask. But yeah, I'd love to be. I'd love to be the best in the country, and I would love at some point for us all Brits to be on stage together. So your whole a little undeniable thing could be, you have to be on stage against all of us and beat us all for you to be undeniable. Otherwise, it's just like unachievable.
It doesn't count just to beat two.
That's not good enough as far as I'm concerned. And to be fair, I mean, on this stage, on this little screen I'm looking, and you're probably last. Just as I look around, really. Let's be 100% honest.
I'm just a skinny motherfucker, man. I'm skinny ass classic boy.
Shane, what part of the country are you from?
In Ireland.
You live in Ireland?
Yeah. I was born and raised in England, but I relocated over to Ireland. That's where my dad's from, so.
Okay, all right. Because I thought you were in like Norway or something, because you're wearing a hoodie. The beanie hat, and that must be cold up there.
No, the weather in Ireland is terrible. It's always raining. It could be sunny for about 20 minutes, and out of nowhere it'll be snow. So it's unpredictable.
Right. What about Jack? Jack, where are you from?
I'm down south, so I'm in Southampton, just actually right on the south coast.
Right. Where do you train in Southampton then?
Do you know what the worst thing about where I live? We haven't got any really, really big, good bodybuilding gyms. So we've got. I generally spend most time training at a 24-hour gym. So my last prep, I did a pure gym.
Pure gym.
Yeah, I had to, mate. Like I said, well, look, you can look at that all you want. Like I said, do you know what I mean? If I had the time in my life to travel, and I have to travel at least so. The closest actual bodybuilding gym is half an hour away. So that's, it's an hour drive in and then say 2 hours in the gym. And like I said before, I literally, I can't, the place closes at like 9:30. It's not all night. I just can't get there. I've got 6 hours in the day to get my job done before I've got to pick the fucking kids up from school. And it's like, it's frustrating. That's going back to that thing of watching people able to train exactly how they need to. People that have these amazing gyms on their doorstep. And I just don't have it. I've got the bodybuilding gym close to us is great.
For 6 months, or Brandon Curry.
What's that?
Just tell the missus you're leaving for 6 months.
Yeah, can you get like a 6-month divorce? Do you reckon that works? I don't know. That's something you can ask for. I don't know. Is there any coming back for a 6-month divorce? Or is that basically permanent? But yeah, like I said, I mean, to be fair, I know how to train. So I mean, people laugh at your pure gyms aren't great. They're not designed for bodybuilders, but they've got plenty. You know, they've got bars that will hold more than I can squat, and bars that will hold more than I can bench. And I know how to connect my muscles. So yeah, like I said, I mean, between the Ben Weider at the beginning of last year and the Amateur Olympia, where obviously I won my category with Ben Weider and then won the overall, I managed to put on 4 kilos of solid stage muscle in like a 4-month off season at Pure Gym. So, you know what I mean? If you know what you're doing, a set of heavy dumbbells and some bars and stuff and some basic equipment, it should be enough.
I have a story to tell. Once I told my dad, I told him, Dad, I started dunking. You know, I used to play basketball. Dad, you know, at 16 years old, I started dunking. It's like, yeah, sure. You know, it's okay. You know, it's like, yeah. So I came to England after like I was 20 years old trying to dunk, and I'm not dunking. So my dad said to me, listen, you know, the ground's here, the ground's the same. The rim's the same height. If you can dunk over there, you can dunk over here. So don't give me that bullshit. All right. Moral of the story is that if you have 20 kilos here or 20 kilos in fucking North Pole is the same. You know, for me, when I look at people, it's obviously, it comes down to your experience. Over here, there's a lot of guys who trained in homemade gyms and kept their gains, and they kept getting bigger and improving. It's because their experience and their imagination. They started making exercises to work certain areas. And for you to be training in a 24-hour gym is not a bad thing. We might make fun of it here. I mean, obviously, John makes fun of everything, but but it's not a bad thing. I mean, as I said, I've seen guys use a decline chest press, you know, turning it into a low row. You know, if you can use your imagination to turn certain, you know, a piece of equipment to how you want it, then why do you think a 24-hour gym is bad? I mean, you know, it's okay, man.
The fact of the matter is, it's what I had. It's what I had open to me. It's what I could get to at the time I had. It's the closest gym to me. And I mean, fuck it. What else was I going to do? You know, what I mean, look at
Shane's training in a CrossFit. You know?
I'm waiting for Shane to release some pictures. I want to see him.
Nah, he won't. I know he won't do it.
No, come on. I'm not really much of a social media guy. I like to keep things like under wraps.
You got to post one week out. Come on.
I'll do it just for you, John. To keep you
just for me. You do one, I do one. Neil might do one.
What, is that fans only, Shane?
Huh? Yeah, I was going to say, you can do it together on your own little private little Zoom call in the evening.
Do you want me and Jack to just turn our faces? You can do it right now, guys. I mean, I don't mind.
yeah, I'll turn my face. There's no way I'm not seeing that. I've got to look.
You got to earn money somehow, lads.
Yeah. What do you do, Shane, for a living?
I do online coaching, and I work in a courier place in Port Arlington down here. So it's stress free. So. It's not that bad.
And you get to do your steps as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually buying a treadmill there today because obviously the weather in Ireland is fucking horrendous. It's always raining, so I'm going to do more steps at home now.
Fantastic. And
I didn't realise you was coached by Cuba, man. The thing he's coached by Cuba as well, Neil.
Yeah, Neil's coached by him as well, yeah. He's progressed a lot since he started with Cuba.
Has he?
He's certainly made some progress, Neil has. No doubt he's looking good. He's very lean this far out. So I mean, like I said, I think personally, from the British or English perspective, we got a really strong lineup. I honestly do. You know, I don't know what that means in terms of first place, second, third, fourth, but you're all going to look fucking good on stage. There's no doubt about that, and you're all going to bring better packages than you did when you won your pro card or the last show you did. 100%.
So, I mean, and I can speak about John because I've seen him in real life. Like I've seen him in flesh, not only through pictures. And John, you know, I don't like blowing smoke up people's asses, but I can see the changes. Like it's day and night. So you know,
I'd be fucking worried if I was going backwards.
Jack, what do you do for a living then?
So I do loss assessing. So I project manage buildings insurance claims, fires and floods and things like that. So it's like far cry from From, like I said, most people that I know are a prep coach, or there's something along the lines of the fitness industry, you know, which sort of gets you more. But I mean, I can work from home, so it just makes things a bit more flexible. But
I don't think it's a bad thing not to work in the industry. I think it becomes too boring when you do one thing.
Potentially, because I have thought about it. So I do some posing coaching because I just love it, which is great. And my wife's a PT, and I've sort of thought about potentially starting to learn and potentially moving into prep coaching or coaching of some sort a few years down the line. You know, I know obviously I've learned what I've learned through what I do, so 6-7 years of training and bodybuilding. Yeah. And obviously I know there's endless more as far as potential qualifications, research, practice, you know, just, you know, and prepping to people, you know, for free, you know, just getting experience. But then I'm kind of thinking, do I want to do that? I don't think I do. I think with what I do now, I think I'd rather keep my job separate from the bodybuilding. It's stay a hobby, to be honest with you. So I think you're right. I think having a separate job for me works all right, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. It's a bit late in the day for me to be sort of trained to be a prep coach now. And what I don't want to do is come across as one of those people who's like, I've got a level of success as a bodybuilder now. I'm going to be a prep coach. Yeah, of course I'm going to be a prep coach. You know, I'm an IFBB pro. I might as well just prep people. Because to be honest, although you know, I know a lot, but as far as prepping this person, that person, I probably don't know fuck all, really.
Yeah, I'm sure you could work with beginner bodybuilders.
Potentially, yeah. But I mean, it's,
you know,
I'd have to do a good year of research and learning before I'd want to practice on someone. But you know what I mean? You know, help someone through their first prep sort of thing.
Just start with people who don't want to actually compete. Just start with people who just want to get in shape, and then just move it on from there.
Yeah,
you have to start with someone. You know, you have to start.
You know, my first time, I think I grabbed one person. I actually prepped him for free. Just one guy. I put everything into that one guy, and that guy made my whole portfolio look good. And then from there, it just starts to pick up. And I start taking 5 at a time, no more, just for me to be able to focus. And then 10 at a time, you know, 5 competitors, 5 just, you know, transformation.
Lifestyle.
Exactly. So I didn't jump straight into, you know, 20 guys, bodybuilders, or, you know, I didn't do that. You know, I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Shane, who's better, you or Neil?
Oh, hey, you're already stirring the pot now.
And what would Cuba say? What would Cuba say? Who's the best? Let's really make it difficult.
Well, no.
Who do you think?
Oh, don't turn it back! Come on.
Oh, look, he's turning around. He's turning around.
Well, no, that's what I think. I'm just asking a straight question. Who do you think is better? I think you're better. I mean, I haven't really seen many pictures of you, but what I've seen, I think you have better flow. I think you have better flow. I think you have better shape.
What? Okay, John, why don't you bring Neil's account up? Let's have a look at his pictures.
Oh, screen share. Now we're getting interesting.
Does he know how to do this?
Yeah, we've done it before.
Well, now we are.
Look at him struggling.
This is tried and tested. Ready? Straight into it. Instagrams.
XNXX, I can see that.
Hey,
Pornhub, yeah.
Who's that loser there? Oh, shoot.
So is that his latest?
He's looking good. He's looking good. He's looking good.
Oh, beautiful, nice.
Yeah, come off lovely.
Yeah, it reminds me of Regan.
Regan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he looks good, to be honest. I think he's got great shape. To be fair, he's obviously condition. I've seen from all the shows I've seen before. Condition is certainly not going to be a problem. But
is that his natural color?
Don't know.
God knows.
He's got a lovely color though. I like his color.
Where is he from? He doesn't look English.
MT2 is that a country?
Oh, MT2. Yeah, that is a country. Yeah. Yeah, it's situated in the
Everyone
pharmacy.
looks better with tan, you know that. Come on.
Yeah, of course. I mean, listen, these pictures don't do anything to me, to be honest with you. But, and, you know, his posing, I don't like that much yet. I mean, his back double bicep, I don't like. But this is my personal opinion. But look at his, this one with the white thong.
The white? What? This one?
Up a bit more. Yeah, that one here. Yeah, his hamstrings need work, but but I mean, again, this is just Instagram, so You know, the guy has a lot of thick muscle. So, you know, good luck to him. I mean, I'll probably meet him and probably interview him in the show.
You know,
I mean, the way I think you have to look at it is I think the same as all of us. The same as all of us here.
You have to scroll down something to fucking find a picture of Shane. To find a picture. Look. There you go. Here's one on stage. Beautiful shape.
Delicious.
But is it good enough?
No, he's beautiful waistline. Very beautiful waistline. I love the waistline. Nice package. You know, hamstrings.
85 kilos there. What, 84,
yeah, that's my weight.
He can do the splits. My man does the splits.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, mate.
Flexible.
Mate, if I did that one, my bollocks would drop out. Probably both of them.
Yeah. No, one testicle is right up.
Oh, there's Krill there.
My nostril.
Go back down.
What?
Go back down. There he is there, Krill. Look at the size difference between me and him.
Yeah, but his flow is terrible, isn't it? Look at his arm. It looks
I wouldn't. Look, Shane, I need to say something here.
I think you'd beat him.
Shane, if you don't mind me saying that, don't get, demotivated just because. I mean, you have to think about it that way. That you
like Ivan Drago.
He does actually, yeah. But the thing is, the weight that you have to make. The weights that you have to make is completely different than them. So you've actually brought your body down that low to look that way. So imagine if you have an extra 6 to 7 kilos of muscle on. So it's irrelevant,
With before and after. We take pictures after.
You look at that picture you showed of the two of you, and he's got like big shoulders and even big. He's got quite weird proportions with his arms. His arms are like probably they look to me like oversized.
He out-angled you.
Yeah, big size.
Arms are undersized for his shoulders.
Just looks a bit. I don't know. It looked a bit. I don't know. Yeah. But then we'll see. Wait, like I said, we'll wait and see. Like I said, you can query everyone's Instagram pictures all you like, but until everyone's next to each other. And you've all hit your right condition and so on, then no fucking idea whatsoever, mate. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. There's going to be, it's, as Dennis James says, it's apples and oranges at that time. You could have the top three, one being huge, one being extremely conditioned, and one being slightly softer, round muscles, small waist, a beautiful vacuum, and that guy would win. You just never know. For me, Keon never came in extremely crisp where you can actually see everything coming out, all the fibers out. He came in slightly soft, but he's got a beautiful, he's got beautiful aesthetics. He's got, he's very nicely polished that he's always going to stand out because of the way he looks. And you see for me, Breen Ansley, I don't think I don't like his physique. It's a personal opinion.
I think what Breon has, which most people don't get, is quality. I reckon if you see him on stage, absolute quality and polish. And you can't deny that. Yeah. You can pose, quality, polish, condition, and he's complete. Most people don't have thickness through the lower lats. He has thickness through the lower lats. He's got separated hamstrings, separated glutes.
Let me just say one thing. I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me or not. I don't know if you guys agree. Breen Ansley did not. He's all the top list that you just mentioned, but he's only in this division because he is a petite guy. That's the only reason. If he was to go into in that look into a different division, it's game over for him. He didn't win because he's got a beautiful classic look. I don't think so. For me, that's not a.
He might not have a classic look when you see him on Instagram, but it's very different when you see someone on stage that's that crisp. Like I say, when someone, you know what I mean by what you say, like a polished physique.
Absolutely.
So it's
his presentation what brings the classic out of him.
Yeah.
Like if you watch him pose, that's when you go, wow, okay.
Yeah. Like, and he has real density to the muscle. Real density.
For me, Danny Unen has a classic look. more than Brian Ansley.
Yeah, but
Does that make sense?
It doesn't have the same
No,
level.
but again, as that's what I said. The quality of Brian Ansley, the guy's left bicep looks identical to his right, where most of us don't have. You know, everything from right to left is so balanced that's probably what gave him the win and multiple wins. Would he do it again? Do you think?
Or could he win again?
Yeah.
I don't see why he couldn't. I personally don't think he will, but I think he's got it in him. Yeah, I mean, he's still going to be pushing the top 1, 2, 3 in.
Bumstead has more of a presence on stage, and that's another thing you can't account for on Instagram. You know, who's going to walk on stage and have the most presence? Because that's a huge thing. It's a huge thing.
Yeah.
You know, whether you like to say it, it was Steve Weinberger that is the one that said that you can't deny Bumstead's stage presence. You want to look at him. You know?
Yeah. Some people just have that natural. Yeah, your eyes just drawn to him. He's obviously got a fucking good physique, like enough to be the best in the world. But on top of that, you're drawn to his look for whatever fucking reason it is, and it's something. Not everyone's got that, and there's nothing you can do about that either. You can't learn that. You just got it. Yeah. And I think that can be one of the things that contributes to being the best in the world. It literally is the whole package, isn't it? You know, it's the body, it's the condition, the presentation, stage presence, and then something to make you the best in the world. It's then something else, some magic.
Yeah, like come on, how many bodybuilders are better than Arnold Schwarzenegger? Thousands. If you break it down, come on, thousands of people are actually better than Arnold Schwarzenegger. But I bet if you put him on stage next to someone, like you'd be like, Arnie's the best.
I think Robbie Robinson was better than Arnold. I think Robbie Robinson was better than Arnold.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you.
You watched him. I bet you couldn't take your eyes off Arnie if you was back in that time watching the stage. You know, I bet you'd be looking at Arnold.
Yeah,
it's a presence you can't account for.
What do you think when it comes to now? We've got obviously the classic division and people using the word. I think the word classic gets almost a bit overused now. Because what does classic mean now? Does it mean classic as in
classic just means a better bodybuilder?
Is it not still the case? It's just another category, and the person with, like I said, those top attributes, the best sort of condition, muscularity, so on and so forth, wins.
Same attributes they look for in a men's open is the same attributes you're looking for in a classic physique. It's same. It's bodybuilding.
In a controlled weight category. That's all it is.
Yeah, exactly. There's just a bit more control over how big you're allowed to be for your height. So when you look at the classic fucking bodybuilders from 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago, they were all different as well. They weren't all exactly the same. They all had different sizes, different waists, different muscularity, different strong points.
Pounds, how much individuality can you have? You know?
Yeah.
Because you're pushing the limits of human growth, you know. So at some point, people start to look similar. You start to lose that individuality, and that's what the classic class brings. You know, it brings individuality, which is. But
it also makes it potentially a lot harder to judge as well. You know, when physiques, like I said, it's maybe easier to judge with the heavyweights because they do start to. I don't want to come across as bad. They're obviously all amazing, but it starts to blur together a little bit more. Yeah. But with classic, like I said, you've got so many different physiques, different heights. It's so different. But then that makes it so fucking hard to champion someone as the best.
I think classic looks better as a lineup. If you guys would agree with me on this or not, I'm not sure. I think because when you're controlled with weight, you're forced to get in that condition to make the weight. If that makes sense. When you're an open bodybuilder, you could be 280. Looking slightly soft, but you can also come in at 265 looking shredded to the bone, but that's a choice. Does that make sense? We don't have a choice. No. So you have to kill yourself to get into that condition. Alongside in your head, you need to make weight. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
but that depends on how easy you can grow muscle. So it'll be years before I'd have to push myself that hard to make weight. So I'm allowed to be 109 on stage. The last show I did, I was like 102. I think I checked in 102, 103, something like that. There's no way I'm going to put on 6 or 7 kilos of muscle by then to the point where I'm actually just have to starve myself. And I don't want to starve myself. I want to make sure I've got room to have carved up for at least, I normally have a sort of good 2-3 heavy days of carving up because I need it. That's just how it works. I take a lot of filling up. And then if you're checking in the day before the show, you've already had to have 2 days of carving up as well. You know what I mean? I need to have that space. You know, I'd want to be depleted at least 4 or 5 kilos less than my weight limit to allow me to start filling, glycogen in my muscle, really fill myself back up again and then still make that weight limit. If I got to the point where the day before the show I was still like just above my weight limit, fucking hell, there's only so late you can leave it when carbon up doesn't actually work. You can't force a carb up in.
Who's coaching you, Jack? Who's coaching you?
It's a chap called Mark Boyce. He runs PHX Gym in Burgess Hill.
Oh, right, okay.
He's not a well-known prep coach, but he's
no. I'm just asking because in my head, for some reason, I thought you were with Chris Aceto, but ignore me.
I know I look pretty good. I assume I've got all the traits of a world-class Aceto champion, but but yeah.
Does that mean you're gonna beat John and Shane and?
Oh, I'll beat John easy. Fucking John's gonna like when he walks on the stage next to me, he's like dragging his heels. Looking at the floor like, oh, Jack's here. I'm not even fucking bother. I was piss off home again.
You can't.
Go and have your nap. You know that nap you said you were going to have? Yeah, you have that while I'm on stage because you ain't going to fucking win, let's be honest.
Oh! He's on.
Easy! You won't beat me. You won't beat me. I've got better.
So John, why do you think?
I've got better proportions. I'll have better condition. I'll have better stage presence. I've better back. I've better side chest. I've better front double.
The problem with that is, mate, it's not up to you though. It's not up to you. It's up to the judges. You would say that. You're apparently undeniable, but I think it's probably like underachiever. Probably more like it. That's what you want to put.
Underachiever.
We'll see, mate. You can't guarantee you're going to win, but I mean, obviously you want to, and good for you.
No, I can't guarantee it.
And I'll kick your ass all over the stage.
I can't guarantee it.
And you're only little, so it won't be hard.
Shane, what do you think? Who'll beat who?
Do you know what? I think Jack's got John.
Ah, look. You're trying to get in my head.
It's the bigger man.
The thing is, does size always win nowadays? In my shows, it did.
Right place.
No, I don't think so. No,
size shouldn't always win, but it's like
a good big guy will always beat a good little guy. So it depends if it's in the right place.
Yeah,
I've seen truth to that time and time again. That's why it's bodybuilding. Rough Diesel keeps falling short. Good big guy will always beat a good little guy. That will always stand true. But
true.
Jack is not good enough big guy to beat me.
Look, mate, you earn your pro card, I earn mine. That's about all you have to say to yourself at the moment.
Well, let's save that. Let's save that to Romania, maybe. All right. I like Jack. He's the most fun. Every single fucker there. All right, and I want to interview you guys before the show and after the show. And I want to actually see the reaction of each one of you, because for me, this is amazing sports psychology, because of, you get to see the true colors of a gentleman, I know you guys are just trash talking right now. Trash talk can be here for like another hour, but I know each one of you is a gentleman, and I know each one of you would take, I wouldn't call it a loss because it's very subjective, and there's 7 judges who might, as I said, apples or oranges. But at the end of the day, I want you guys to work harder, man. It's
that's what
the fact of the matter is, I'd happily lose to John as well as I'd happily beat him, because he's a really good bodybuilder and a decent bloke. So I mean, it's just the same for Shane. I don't mind losing to people. I've got no problems with losing. You know what I mean? If they bring a better package to the stage, so fucking be it. You know what I mean? I'll shake anyone's hand. I'll moan when I get home, like, as everyone does, because I'm fucking hungry and grumpy. And then you look at your photos maybe a week or 2 weeks down the line, you say, oh, okay, maybe you beat me there. Okay, fair play, did. This is what I need to change. But you know what I mean? I've been at some shows when people have been so fucking grumpy backstage when they haven't won that they've been rude to me about it. And I just kind of think, I mean, you know what I mean? It's a couple of shows I tried to congratulate someone. They didn't win, but I said, no, fair play. You looked really great. Not somebody who could be against me. And they were so fucking grumpy. He went, no, I ain't fucking good enough. I'll beat him on this, I'll beat him on that. And I went, I'll say that to you get home, man. Like, take your fucking misery and fuck off. You know what I mean? Just everyone's happy. Well, you should be there to enjoy yourself, man. You know what I mean? It's like
Shane's gonna be the guy who says 2011, 2012, 2013. With that face, like a bit, one vein coming out of here, guys, this has been amazing. I'm really, really happy that we got together. It felt more like friends talking in, down Starbucks, and that's exactly what I was looking for. John is getting getting
Cocky.
ready. No, well, that's normal. That's part of his personality. But
I already made a T-shirt that says "I beat Jack Conner."
Did you? Oh, mate, that's must be embarrassing. Would you get it in small? Was it small boy size? Was it something like
that? You guys. Honestly, the banter could go on and on. I know that. But guys, what's your Instagrams?
Jack Conner IFBB Pro _ I can't fucking remember, mate. Something like that. Jack Conner _ IFBB Pro.
Jack Conner will come out. And Shane, your one is?
Shane Cullen IFBB Pro.
And Jon Lofthouse IFBB Pro as well. And myself, the Dictator 23. Jon Lofthouse. Is it TM or is it a C? Copyright? Trademark?
What? That's my name.
Guys, thank you very much for being
undeniable.
Oh, there you are, the undeniable. That we got your nickname, the undeniable.
Jon Lofthouse has become one of them words for people who never quite make it. You're one of them Jon Lofthouse types, aren't you? You know what I mean? Never quite make it. Never quite good enough.
Here we go.
Jack, that sounds very much like me, to be honest with you.
Don't say that, man. You've got years. I was going to say you've got years left, but probably not that many at 40, to be fair, just like me.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. As I said, at my 27, 28, I used to have a big mouth, and I used to, talk a lot, and 1 year surgery, 1 year competing, 2 years off, 1 year competing, and just never happened. But I'm happy to be working in the bodybuilding industry now, doing this podcast, and there are more things coming up. Hopefully, working with the federation, I would hope so. And we'll see where we could get. I mean, if I have the love for the sport, I don't need to be a competitor. So I could compete and be myself, but just not, the Olympia dream is becoming further and further. But, you guys are the new, the new generation. You guys make it.
It's never unachievable, mate. You can still do it. Have some faith.
Oh, of course I do. Of course I do. Of course I do. It's just a matter of, giving 110% in just one season where I could just tunnel vision and just get it done. Having you guys around me is an inspiration. I'm sure you guys, feed off each other's energy, and you guys got a good vibe. You guys have a very good vibe, and just keep it up that way.
It's the way it should be, man. It's supposed to be fun.
It is. I actually did have fun today, and guys, be careful. Shane is just about to have a nap.
I think he's been asleep for a little while. He's just been sleeping with his eyes open.
I know. Guys, really, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for coming on, guys.
Good to see
thank
you
you for coming. And let's stay in touch, guys.
100%.
Definitely.
Have a good one, guys. Take care. Thank you very much.
Peace.
Laters.